Time to step away from consoles and move over to mobile. Let's take a look at the newest game from FreakZone, Jump and Shoot Attack. It's been over 20 years since Tetris was released as the first game on mobile phones, but even so, mobile gaming is still very much in its early years. There is still a lot to learn about how to develop games on the platform. It's a difficult process. How do you take video games that have primarily used control pads for more than 30 years and control them using only a touchscreen? The platformer genre may have the hardest time at this, since historically these types of games demand precision. Sure, you can throw a D-pad on the screen, but without an actual button under your fingers, controls can feel awkward and don't give you the physical feedback gamers are used to. Enter the Endless Runner. These games give the character constant forward momentum, eliminating the need for directional input. This typically leaves the player in charge of only two things, jumping and attacking. Jump and Shoot Attack is an endless runner released this month to iOS and Android devices. Created by FreakZone Games, developer of retro throwbacks Manos the Hands of Fate and AVGN Adventures, Jump and Shoot Attack promises fast-paced, hard-as-heck platforming with authentic retro visuals and sounds across 4 worlds spanning 16 levels, and boy does it deliver. The retro visuals are excellent, paying homage to games like Mega Man, Contra, and Metroid. And the soundtrack is unbelievable. It really brought me back to some of the early Sunsoft titles on the NES. I sense a Journey to Silius influence. As you probably may have guessed, your objective is to platform your way to the end of the stage while attacking enemies, dodging obstacles, and collecting the occasional items. Touching the left side of the screen jumps, and touching the right side shoots your gun, which can be upgraded once to a dual shot and once again to unleash a spread shot. About half the stages will be spent running and jumping, while the other half will require the use of a jetpack power-up. Your completionist objective is to collect 3 gems and finish the stage, which will also net you a 1-up. As the game promised, it is damn hard. Expect to die, a lot, because one brush from an enemy or obstacle and you're down for the count. Lose all your lives and it's back to the beginning of the world. At face value, Jump and Shoot may just look like your average endless runner, but hold on there, buddy. This game has a lot more to offer. Where the game really sets itself apart is in its subtleties. The design reminds me a lot of Mike Burns' Kid Trip, but where that game's difficulty lies mostly within its controls, Jump and Shoot's difficulty is built into its design. A death in Jump and Shoot always feels justified. Rarely will you be cursing the game for the faults that you made, which only makes you want to play the game more to improve. The game's premise never changes throughout the 16 stages, but the way it's presented to you does. Enemies enter the screen when you get close enough to their spawn points, but moving platforms and obstacles cycle. You can hang out against a wall to wait for your timing, but this won't stop an enemy from rushing through. The obstacle cycles also don't reset after a death, so their position at the beginning of each stage may be slightly different each time. Branching paths aren't there just for variety. Many times one path will get you a gem, but will send you away from a power-up. Are you willing to make the rest of the level more difficult in exchange for a 3-gem finish? Speaking of power-ups, your top upgrade, the spread shot, is not always going to be your saving grace. The mid-grade dual shot always hits enemies with 2 shots, making them much easier to plow through. There were a number of times where I needed to purposefully avoid a second power-up to make the stage more manageable. All these small details really put the game on a pedestal and show that a lot of thought was put into its design. I'd almost go as far as to say that Jump and Shoot Attack is the new template to follow for all future mobile platformers. For $1.99, this game definitely gets my recommendation. Its 16 stages may feel a bit short, but the satisfaction you'll get for completing each one makes it worth every penny. To FreakZone Games, I tip my hat.